Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. This is a podcast for Fort Worthians who love our city and want stories from our community's creators. You love Fort Worth? You want to know what's happening in your backyard? Then this podcast was made for you. You can find Fort Worth Roots podcast on YouTube and all the other podcast players on social media. We are just simply Fort Worth Roots. Big shout out to all of our friends across the globe that are tuning into Fort Worth Roots. No matter where you are, you show up on our interactive map, and we can see exactly where you are when you listen to these things. And if you've streamed even one episode of Fort Worth Roots, thank you, because it helps our analytics, makes our show stronger, and we appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last week, we even had people tuning in from Budapest and northern Scotland, I believe. Dunfermline. I said it right. I know I did. But no matter where you are, thank you for listening. Every time you stream an episode, it helps our show. Shout out to our friends at Squad STX Boys Camping. All boys ages 11 through 16, 100% outdoor. Overnight camping, hiking, wilderness skills, land navigation, laser tag missions. This is awesome. They do it down there next to Glen Rose and Dinosaur Valley. It's supposed to be an alternative to Boy Scouts. Here's their mission statement. Squad STX is an overnight primitive camping, hiking, orienteering, laser tag course for boys designed by the U.S. Army infantry officers as an alternative to Boy Scouts and traditional summer camp. We develop strong leadership skills through squad competitions, time-tested military training methodologies, and situational training exercises. Now, these guys are not sponsors. This is just something that we did, an initiative we took. We had this block of time at the front end of the episode. I said, why don't we reach out to some veteran businesses in our area and see if they'd like us to talk about them. And Dustin from Squad STX Boys Camping was the first one to get back to me. I was thinking about this the other day. I've read off that little mission statement of theirs about 8 times now, I think. I don't know. I'm not counting. And as much as you want to score points with the kid, this is a great way to score points with mom. Flowers are nice. Fancy dinner is probably good too. Maybe a night out away from the kids is great. But where diamonds are the way to a woman's heart before you get married, kids are where it's at. That's the way to the woman's heart after you've got kids. The most effective use of your time and money if you're trying to impress mama is going to be doing something like this with the kiddos. Taking them out to Squad STX, enjoying one of these trips. If you're looking for a great way to connect with your kid, Squad STX. If you're looking for a great way to rack up some major brownie points with mama, Squad STX. Go check them out. It's squadstx.com. Easy to find. They've got 2 different packages to choose from. And don't wait. Don't say you're going to do this and then look it up later, because there's a finite number of spots that they have here. You need to call and get your spot ready today. It is down in Dinosaur Valley State Park. You can go to Squad STX to get all these details, but Boys Summer Camp is a 5-day, 4-night dealio, Wednesday through Sunday, June 8th through the 12th, June 22nd through the 26th, and July 6th through the 10th. That's Boys Summer Camp, 5 days, 4 nights. And then you got the Father and Son Camp, 3 days, 2 nights, Friday through Sunday, May 6th through the 8th, and October 14th through the 16th. Don't put it off. Don't wait. Don't say, I'll do it later, because you won't. You'll forget. Do it now. SquadSTX.com. River Oaks Springfest Car Show, Saturday, April 30th, held at the beautiful Camp Carter. Address on that is 6200 Sand Springs Road, Fort Worth, Texas. River Oaks, if you don't know where River Oaks is, it is right next door to the military base, JRB Carswell. Easy to find. Anyway, I'll have the address in the show notes so you can find it. And you can find them on Facebook, too. They have a Facebook page, River Oaks Springfest Car Show. They're going to have vendors and a pop-up market, games and events, benefiting the Friends of the River Oaks Animal Shelter and YMCA Camp Carter. This is a free event. You don't have to pay a dime. It's going to be awesome. All right, our guests today are the members of Bluelight 100s, a band that started in September of 2021. So they're basically brand new. They're still cutting teeth, trying to find places to gig. You can find all of their information by going to linktree/Bluelight100s. But the link will be in the show notes, so you can do it that way. You can also find them on Facebook, Bluelight 100s. Easy to find. That's their page. We talk a little bit about their music, places they're gigging, places they're not, and they play like 3 times for us in this episode. It was a lot of fun, and they sounded incredible. They brought a type of music to our home studio that we haven't had here before, so that was special. Looking forward to having these 2 back on in the near future, and it's going to be fun to watch them grow as artists inside our Fort Worth community. And this week, we actually have a bonus episode that will be dropping this coming Thursday. It's from one of our guests that are in this episode, the owner of STX, Boys Camping. I'm not ready to start doing 2 episodes every week, but whenever we have something special like this happen, I'm going to go ahead and put that out for you. You can catch that episode Thursday with the owner of Squad STX Boys Camping. I have to stress to you that we will not be doing 2 episodes from here on out. We're not ready for that. We're just not built for that much. And that episode is, it's just going to be us getting to know our new friend a little better. There's not much of a direction to that episode, and that's okay. That's what podcasting turns into sometimes. All right, that's enough out of me. Please give it up for the members of Bluelight 100s, a band that plays here in DFW. Don't forget, you can find their music on their link tree. That will be in the show notes. You can also find them on Facebook as Bluelight 100s. Give it up for Dustin Stewart and Jake James Franklin. Let's start the show. Well, thank you guys for driving out. I appreciate it. Where are y'all located at?
I live next to TCU.
Okay, so not too far.
I actually live out in Italy, kind of like south of Dallas.
Damn.
Like 50 minutes south of Dallas.
Okay.
Little bitty town called Italy.
Waxahachie.
But you were coming up here for the singer-songwriter, so I don't feel too terrible.
Yeah. No, I've been hanging out in Fort Worth all day.
Over here. No, we were playing around today anyway.
Yeah.
So practicing, do the open mic. So
Okay. So just made a whole Sunday out of it.
And then I saw you were associated with the Dills. I was like, hey, that's the same guy. I saw you posted on the music page. I was like, we're in a band.
Yeah, no, it's very music heavy lately. Fort Worth Roots wasn't supposed to be a music podcast, but we've got a good group of friends inside the music industry now.
Local artists.
Yeah.
Good ones.
So working out good.
Music cuts through the noise.
Yeah. The studio needs some adjustments.
It's great. No, it's lovely. It was good in here, man.
It's been working.
We have a studio for our music in a garage, like a side garage, on the outside of the house.
Yeah.
But it's smaller than this, and it's surrounded with cinder blocks and then carpet on the cinder blocks.
Yeah.
So
is it working?
It sort of worked. But the main thing is I wanted to be to where we could play loud and not worry about. We live in a neighborhood where the houses are close, a little closer than this actually. So
closer than this?
Yeah, I mean it's down.
I feel like we're sandwiched in here.
It's a quaint little area down there by the school.
Yeah. Well, yeah, those TCU houses are pretty close to each other.
Right. Yeah. So you would, if we were playing as loud as we have, without the sound treatment, you just get a lot of college students going like, what's going on over there?
Well, I did a little bit of investigating. I like to do some homework on my guests before I bring them on. And the one thing I did find that I thought was really interesting was you had posted at some point on Facebook that you'd moved to Iraq in 2006.
Oh, well, yeah. The Army moved me there.
Yeah. How'd that go?
I mean, how long you got, I guess?
Well, the reason it piqued my interest, the reason it piqued my interest, I was there with you from 05 to 06.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, and I can't remember what base it said you were at, but we convoyed up from Arifjan, and we hit probably 50% of the fobs. We were delivering shit. Okay, so anyway, me and you were almost neighbors.
I got a supply convoy one time called in fratricide on, a discharge deal on us from one time, driving their big convoy through, and we were out. And getting into the weeds here. I mean, I was in an infantry unit, so I was at 136. We were a mechanized infantry unit up there. We had Bradleys, and a lot of the heavy fighting had already taken place in Telefar when we were there. McMaster, General McMaster, his unit was the one we relieved. Anyway, you could tell a lot of heavy fighting had gone through. So we were kind of like in an area where you could tell this place had just been through a lot of shit. So it still felt dangerous, and we had a few. The first week I was there, like on the ground, one of my guys got blown up with us there, like a squad of us out. IED went off on a foot patrol. That was like the first week there, and almost blew his ankle off.
Yeah,
but he's okay now. And that was like the worst thing in the 2 years I was there. So first week
got the rough shit out of the way up front.
But a lot of times we'd be doing boring stuff like guarding out there. Go back to the convoy stuff, guarding a big stretch of the highway leading up into that. They're just parts, basically that big supply route from MSR Tampa, main supply route Tampa, Iraqi Highway 1. We would call it whatever the fuck we want, though. This is Tampa.
Yeah.
This is MSR Tampa. All the way from Kuwait up there, basically eyes on in some form. That entire, and we're up at the northern part of it. And so, as if you get to Fob Sykes where we are, it's like basically one of the last. Yeah. It's not like there's one supply. There's many units doing this stuff, but yeah, one night out there, we were just doing the stupid mundane guard deal work. We have a section assigned to us, and me and my wingman, he's in his Bradley, and I'm in mine. It's like a 4-hour shift.
Yeah.
Basically like an armored, just battle position out there in our Bradley scan. And we test fire. It's pretty common to test fire the weapons, just, periodically.
Make sure it works.
Yeah, and then so the next night I get a call. I'm out at our little platoon remote outpost, out from company outpost, which is out from the main fob. He calls me in from our little platoon outpost to fill in some paperwork for an investigation. Some captain from brigade is down investigating a negligent discharge from the night before.
Oh shit!
And it was clear who was. I was the guy in the area, and I was just like, the more I was like, what? Oh, he's talking about.
It was a test fire.
It's like, dude, I guess he's talking about some test fire we did. Yeah, we're not everybody's on the same radio, so it's not like it's easy for me to. You have to clear. No, I'm sorry. You just happen. Most nights, no one's.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a very boring story, but that's basically 99% of all that was boring. So maybe that's fitting.
No, that's good though.
Very boring.
That's good. So whenever you guys took over for that unit up there, were the Bradleys already in country, or did y'all bring those on with you?
No, we brought those. We shipped them out.
Okay, that might have been us that brought you there. No kidding.
Yeah, we were in Germany, so they all go. My second deployment, I was S4, so I actually managed a lot of it. But in general, over there, most of it would all go to the Bremerhaven or whatever the port up in Netherlands, and then it ships around.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but it ended up in Kuwait, right?
Yeah, and it goes to Kuwait. Yeah.
So that's what we were doing. We were loading them up and taking them.
Turns out you can get a mechanized unit to Kuwait faster from fucking Georgia, where the third idea is. Because it'd be like, oh, we still need to be in Europe because it gets us, there. It's like, no. Anyway, I always just thought it was a waste. Like, why are we even in Germany?
Somebody didn't own a map. Yeah.
It's fun, though. I'm glad we were there. But, yeah, we shipped them over there. There's people actually assigned that ride the boat with them, actually. They have to pull from the battalion. They'll be like, a sergeant and a few Joes, like random dudes that get signed on boat duty to go literally fall because it's our battalion equipment being shipped. Some fucking weirdos. Yeah,
well, you gotta keep somebody from the unit with the equipment, I guess.
Right.
Because I've got buddies that went on details like that. I'm like, you lucky son of a bitch.
The warrant officers ran a lot, like the maintenance guys. At some point, all it was just sort of put in their realm, and we never.
Yeah.
The colonel signs off.
The guys that really got it easy.
Shows up in Iraq.
The guys that get tasked out to do that with the Air Force, get to hang out with the Air Force guys. I don't know if you know this, but the Army eats and sleeps like dogs. And then whenever you get paired up with the Air Force, you're living like a king until the detail's over. You get to eat their chow food in their chow halls, and you get their accommodations and all that. It's pretty nice.
I ate better there. The second deployment, I was a staff captain on a staff our battalion, and eating out of a DFAC, a dining facility every night. I felt like I was eating better there than Iraq. Than Germany when I got back home.
Really?
Going to fucking McDonald's.
That was an Air Force chow hall?
It was Army chow hall.
Really?
It was ran by contractors. We had like Pakistani dudes working there running it. One of the saddest things at one of these bases, we were shutting down because the second deployment, it was like 2009 at some point, and we were shutting down stuff, and we had this Pakistani/Indian mix outfit that was doing. They were running they were making all our food at the deep.
Right.
There's Army people obviously.
Yeah, but you get your civilians.
Like, the main of it was these dudes, and we had to break it to him that we were closing down, and he was just like,
Damn, heartbroken.
Yeah, very heartbroken. It's hard to explain to him. I was like, dude, I just got here. I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah. Well, they sign up for some pretty wicked details whenever they take those government jobs on the civilian side. We had in our convoys, we had one U.S. truck for every 5 or 6 civilian trucks.
Yeah,
and then like the chow hall, you've got
a lot of shit to run the shit.
Yeah, and then the chow halls, you probably got one Army personnel for every 10 people in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it was a big operation. It was cool. I thought we ate pretty good. No, I always thought, man, if this was Vietnam, this is just a whole different.
If you want to compare it like that, absolutely.
I did often.
Yeah,
to make myself not feel so bad.
Well, and I did every time somebody would bitch about our conditions. My dad's Vietnam guy.
I've read enough about Vietnam stuff to know that. And we've kind of they kind of baby us over
here.
I mean, sort of.
Yeah,
in a way.
Even the guys that were on the roads out there on MSR Tampa were relatively safe, and it's probably not fair to say for everybody. It's a dangerous
trucking job, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
pays for college.
But you go to compare it to Vietnam, and there's no comparison.
Exactly. And those guys were drafted, so it's like some of a lot of them choice.
Yeah, they didn't even ask to.
I don't think it was like every other guy like they make it out to believe. Although I don't know the stats, but no, a good chunk of society was just they didn't. It's like
nobody wanted to do it. Yeah. That's the big difference too. We were there of our own volition, and the Vietnam guys were.
If you want to sign up, you know what you're getting into, and work out a deal, a contract, what they call it. So whatever.
Shut that Elvis there. God. So you're hurting bad if you're stealing musicians to hold a gun for you.
No, well, he was in during the right after the Korean War.
Oh, okay. He wasn't there for Vietnam.
At the same time as Elvis, so I know.
What?
I know. He was stationed in Friedberg in 236 Armor Battalion. It was one of the armor battalions there. I don't think they're there. Their sister unit still is, but he was like a legit. He was in an armor battalion and then the scout platoon, and he was the platoon sergeant's driver of the scout platoon, which is a legit fucking job.
Yeah.
Because apparently he was he ran a trucking, and he was going to electrical school. Like he knew how to work on shit and stuff. And they did a Grafenwehr rotation, which is the big gunnery range where they go down for 2 months and do what they call exercises. So legit shit. I don't want to take all the time though talking about boring Iraq though. So I do want to ask, what is your timeline for tonight?
Timeline is completely dependent on you.
Gotcha. So, okay, because I didn't know what you're doing.
I do need to tell you this because you don't have a headset on. Every single time you move that mic, it's making a little bit of noise there.
When you move it out.
So, let's talk about your music because you and we met talking about Squad STX, but I don't know anything about your music. Your Bluelight 100s, is that the name of the band, I guess, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, band, yeah. So I met this guy last year, about a little after this time last year, so almost a year. Through some mutual musician friends, and he's got a lot of. It's mostly songs that Jake has written. I've helped write some of the stuff and contribute. But we started playing around some open mics here in Fort Worth, and then Waco. And honestly, I think the Waco scene was a little more receptive, or at least.
Yeah, we had a better time in Waco. Well, we spent more time there anyway.
Yeah, I felt like we started spending more time there because they seemed a little more receptive to the up-and-comers.
It was the doors were starting to open to get gigs there, and where we weren't, gigging over here in Fort Worth yet,
So they were pretty cool, but like I live up here, and we practice up here a lot, so we obviously want to start playing up here too. But
so, are you telling me that you're having trouble like getting into places here in Fort Worth with your music?
We just haven't played much out here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say trouble. It's
logistics issue.
They're not hiring. People aren't. I guess it depends what you mean. It's very easy to go play for free.
Yes. That's not the goal. I
have no trouble at all. There's no trouble.
Yeah.
And that's part of what you do anyway. And so it's not like even I'd be the first one to say like you shouldn't bitch about it. I hate the musicians that talk about the bar. We talk about this from time to time. So you know how I feel, but I hate the musicians that talk about the bars aren't paying enough or they don't value musicians. That's bullshit. That's just bullshit. The problem is we're too young. We don't draw a crowd yet. It's very obvious. Yeah. Like it's not like a mystery. If you have a fan base, if you're really good and your songs are good, people will come back and see you. That's called a fan base.
Right.
And then they spend more money at the bars, and the bars can pay you more. And these musicians. I'm the first one. I'll feel pity for myself, but who doesn't? But objectively speaking, most of these musicians, I think they're looking at ass backwards. They're looking at it very selfishly, quite honestly. Yeah. So in that sense, no, we don't have a problem getting booked.
Sure.
It's just some of the folks in Waco seem to make a little more helping hand. Getting our stuff sound checked, or just showing us the right things to even look for, just helping us with some of the tricks of trade. Probably it's probably a function. It's just a smaller town too. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Fort Worth is just pretty big too. So
yeah. Well, the only reason I kind of that piqued my interest there is a lot of what we talk about with the musicians that have been coming on the show is like how open Fort Worth is and how easy it is to get gigs and stuff. So it's good to hear like an opposing opinion to that.
Well, that's probably because we just haven't been here.
Right. Yeah, it totally makes sense. So,
Yeah.
so Waco's kind of your.
It's not like we're saying Waco's like better. We're just that's where we've been and what.
Yeah, it's just your mainstay lately.
Yeah.
That's nothing wrong with that. So, well, what
and
venues?
Plus, we started to find some drummers a little more easily in the Waco area. That's another thing. It's just very hard to find consistent drummers.
Yeah.
So we got a guy I've been drumming with now, and he's in Waco. So that's another anchor. Point down there.
So you just
play
play
drummers out there, and they want to jam to some sweet music.
We'll put some feelers out, see if we can help.
Yeah.
So you
in the
just
Fort Worth area,
jamming as a 2-piece up here, and then got a drummer down in Waco.
Yeah. No, he comes up here too.
Okay.
So
it's hour and a half drive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Waco.
It's all clogged.
Not too bad.
Yeah, 35 sucks. It's never gonna not suck. It's awful.
We played in Deep Ellum the other night though. That was fun.
Oh yeah, Wits End
in Dallas.
Somebody was posting something about the gig paid. It might have been you. I don't know. Said they were playing in Deep Ellum. The gig paid $150. Parking was, $40. Fuel was $75 for the van. Do the math,
No. And so you got to ask yourself, why is that? And it's like, because it's not. Most of our songs aren't that valuable. Like you're really paying for the opportunity to go do it.
Yeah.
Which I think is fine. That's what you got to do. But it just rubs me. Some of these musicians, I just think when they start going down that road, like making the bar owners not like us as a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated.
Yeah.
with that.
Well,
But I don't know.
We've got some outstanding people here that really do get it. It seems like Tim Love. He's got restaurants all over Fort Worth, and he's big on music. He's got live music at every place, almost every hour that he's open. So there are some people out there that do seem to kind of get it.
How was this Lola's place?
Love Lola's.
Or about the Thursday night stuff. What do they got going on?
I'm not real fresh on Lola's schedule or what they got going on there.
Open mic.
I do. The one tonight?
No, that's the playground.
Yeah,
but
just
in general. But in general, Lola's. What do you?
Lola's is great for hosting just about any kind of music. They've got a stage inside next to the indoor bar, and then they've got a huge outdoor stage. Have y'all been there yet?
I've been there a little.
I've heard about it.
I haven't been in any of the music events. I've just been there and seen the place.
It's just a really good vibe. And as far as Fort Worth music goes, that is one of the main staples that I would point somebody towards because there's so much. It's not one type of music. I mean, they'll have a rap battle there one night and then bluegrass country the next night. I mean, it's pretty open variety. So
what places
good vibe.
What do you like to go to the most?
So Lola's is on there. The Playground's now on there. To be 100% honest with you, I used to think Playground was halfway shut down. I didn't even know anything went on there. But then just right around the corner, you got Magnolia Motor Lounge, which is excellent. And then right next to that is, I can't remember the name of it. They just had a fire and they had to shut down. It might be open by now, but there's one right next to Magnolia Motor Lounge. It's pretty badass. Fred's was awesome, but they just closed that one down and they're building a new location off of Camp Bowie. And then there's restaurants all over the place. Tim Love has a really badass one on White Settlement, right on the river. And I can't think of the name of that one either, but it's got a badass outdoor stage. And
so do you see many bands at these places that you end up following and become a fan of?
Yeah.
What's some of the these days?
Okay, I need to reframe that. I'd have to say no then, because I have so many musicians that come on the show now that I go to see these musicians.
Yeah.
Right. We'll wake up on Sunday morning, I'll roll over, look at my phone, I'm like, oh shit, so-and-so's playing at such and such, and we'll just go check it out. But as far as discovering new artists, I'd say Lola's or Magnolia Motor Lounge. There's even more just on the other side. If you go south of I-30, away from downtown Fort Worth, away from the 7th Street area, I think that's Magnolia or whatever. Yeah. That whole hospital district area, badass places.
I've been over there. Yeah.
There's a hamburger shop called Pouring Glory. If you go in there and there's not a band playing, you wouldn't think that there would be good music there, but whenever somebody has it set up, it's perfect. They've got a pretty badass stage, and there's tons of room, plenty of parking. So I don't know. There's just endless supplies of places to play around here. And then if that doesn't satisfy, as you move out into the smaller communities, Weatherford, River Oaks, all of them, all these little bitty towns. There's so much.
This year we're hoping to start get out and meet some of these bars and start getting booked over there. Yeah.
Yeah, we just formed in September.
Oh wow. Okay.
21.
Yeah.
And
still cutting teeth.
Yeah.
Well, we met a little before that, but in terms of having like a drummer, yeah.
Yeah, it's like actually having a band. Decided to form a band.
Right.
We had a guest on a couple weeks ago. Name's Carrie Smith, and she was telling me that part of her normal routine now is every Monday. Monday is her day to sit down and just cold call like all these bars. Like, hey, we're looking for a place to gig. Wondered if you'd be interested.
Right? Yeah. Emails, phone calls.
And delegate that one.
Split the list up.
Yeah. But, there's everybody's looking to play, and all these restaurants are looking for somebody to play for.
What are they looking for? So in terms of checking you out, do you think some of this cuts the mustard to release them to speak to you? See, the thing is, if I were them, I'd like to see a lot of them play live, but it's just hard to decide where to invest all our time in. It's almost like option overload, which gets me back to if they don't know you much, and if we haven't been spending much time to go play this, and if we're just asking them to, hey, check us out.
Professionally, I wouldn't know because I'm kind of removed from it in that aspect, but I do know a lot of people that would have that answer. Right. Carrie Smith that just came on the show would be a great person to talk to. Frenchie from Guitar Frenchie, Frenchie's Blues Destroyers, he'd be a great guy to talk to about it. But
just curious in terms of first impressions of some of these folks, because it would be nice to be out there and meet a lot of them, but man, it's so spread out, and it's just hard to find where should we try to like hunker down and really play a lot of this place to get to know them.
I really think some of that is going to be, what do you want? And then like Carrie talks about, just cold calling these places and integrating that into your weekly schedule. Like, this is the time that I've set aside. Maybe it's only a 4-hour block or an hour block where you start calling people and set things up. Because the way I talk to people through the podcast, like emailing people to get them on the show and things like that, that I just have to take an active role in it. That's all it is. It's just networking, I guess. But you got to decide where you want to play too. You're in Dallas and you're way over here, so y'all might want to look at the east side of Fort Worth or maybe Arlington or something.
There's places in Arlington,
anywhere. We'll play anywhere.
Yep.
That's the right attitude. Yeah. That's the right answer.
Have you got a chance to listen to any of our songs?
Honestly, I found your link tree about 15 minutes before y'all got here. Like I said, we'd been talking about Squad STX so much.
Only 4 minutes. So.
And then whenever we got to talking about doing a thing, you're like, well, I'm going to be at the singer-songwriter. By the way, do you want me to bring my guitar? Yeah. So y'all want to break out the guitars?
Sure, man. All right. Sounds good.
All right. What's the first song you're playing?
Let's see. What do you want to start with, man?
I guess let's see what it sounds like.
All right. You ready? You want to do Drunks Punks?
Okay.
Underneath the moon, I won't say goodbye, 'cause I'll see you soon under a different sky, in another room where just you and I will sing a different tune and live until we die. We're drunks, punks, and rattlesnakes. I don't know what difference it makes. Guess it all depends on the song that he plays. Drunks, punks, and rattlesnakes. snake with the lion song, and with the hands I shake, I can't lie at all. And make no mistake, I don't like what I saw. And when it gets late, I know who to call. The drunks, punks, and rattlesnakes. I don't know what difference it makes. Guess it all depends on the song that he plays. Drunks, punks, and rattlesnakes. All right.
He can't hear the applause, but the soundboard had some applause for you.
It's a good audience. Great crowd. Thanks,
That's
everybody.
the first time somebody's brought out a Fender like that, man. That's pretty kick-ass.
That's top of the line right there.
The effect already.
Nothing but the best for Dustin here.
So have you both been playing since you were toddlers, or like did y'all pick this up at a young age or later in life?
I picked it up pretty much when I was in middle school, like 12, 13 years old.
Dustin?
I started playing when I was 15.
Yeah. So I've got some work to do if I want to catch up on
I'm
that
23
sound.
now, so
Yeah.
I've been playing for like 10 years basically.
Yeah. That's great. And that sounded great. I know you were worried about the quality of the recording device, but it came in good on this side.
Sweet. Good.
And it actually sounds better after like in post production. So
Good.
yeah,
Well, that's
going to come out clean. And I haven't had anybody in here that plays this kind of music. I mean, it's a little more upbeat. A lot of the
It's
people
like just playing rock and roll with. I mean, I have a lot of influences, and I try to, play stuff that I like to hear.
Yeah.
So like old 97s and that kind of like cowpunk stuff, like Social Distortion and the Refreshments from Arizona, Roger Klein and the Peacemakers.
Okay.
And like punk rock, like Alkaline Trio, love Alkaline Trio.
It's always a little overwhelming sitting this close to this kind of talent, I'm closer than front row seat. So you guys want to play one more? You got it in you?
Do somehow.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. 2, 3, 4. Sit tight, they can't get us now. Safe till we find another town, or just stay on the road. We got our pizzas at the ready, bullet holes in the doors, a proof that God don't want us struck down. Hey! Spend another night in the fields. We use this right as a shield. It's the only place we've got to go. When I decided to take you with me, I just wanted to go. Nice to have some company down these hostile roads, yeah. These lonely nights would be no more if we both just walked out the door right now. Living the life on the road like Bonnie and Clyde somehow. tight they can't get us now. Safe till we find another town, or just stay on the road. We got our pieces at the ready, bullet holes in the doors, a proof that God don't want us struck down. And I decided to take you with me, I just wanted to go. Nice to have some company down these hostile roads, yeah. These lonely nights would be no more if we both just walked out the door right now. Living the life on the road like Bonnie and Clyde somehow. Somehow, cool.
That was awesome. That was great.
Thank you. Somehow.
Loved it. That's that's definitely the first time this kind of sound's been in here. I love it. Hell yeah.
One more?
Yeah, Feral Boogie.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, tonight I sit, stare at the wall. Tonight I swear, gonna make it. Oh well, I'm gonna pack my bags, I'm gonna leave the house, catch my train, out it as rain tomorrow. Never slow down, don't feel no pain, never get off of your baby train. A little Feral Boogie help me through the day. It's been too long, stuck in this town. Why don't we have a little boogie down? Cause you do you, I do I. It's gone too far, causing all this sorrow. Never slow down, don't feel no pain, never get off of your baby train. A little Feral Boogie help me through the All right. Cool.
I love it, man. Damn. We definitely have to talk about STX before you guys get out of here. I don't know how much time I got with you, but I know the singer-songwriter thing starts at 8. Yeah. You want to do it now?
Compete with other slow.
You can do it now, and then we'll talk about STX.
Okay.
Cool. This is Stay Till Sunlight.
Close enough.
All right. 2, 3, 4. Cold night, winter in Texas, cold front come in when she said this. It's too late to say goodbye. I don't go, I'll stay till sunlight. My heart hurts. Do you have the antidote? No luck. We're in the same boat. Short fuse. I need some alcohol. Strong booze. Another one off the wall. I love you, and I think you're the one for me. You'll be dead soon, no reason for a remedy. I'll hold you tight beneath the starry sky. I won't go, I'll stay till sunlight. I'll stay till sunlight. Cold night, winter in Texas. Cold front come in when she said this. It's too late. It's too late to say goodbye. I don't go. I'll stay till sunlight. I'll stay till sunlight. I'll stay till sunlight. I'll stay till sunlight.
It's beautiful.
Cool. Thank you, man.
I was talking about his Fender, but that is also a very beautiful guitar. Have y'all been playing these two instruments for a while, or are these?
Yeah.
Right here,
Let's see.
I just got this week.
Really?
Yesterday.
I've had this one for like 4 or 5 months, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the way you're
in there.
bending those strings over there looks like you've been playing it for years.
Trying to.
Yeah.
The boomer bends. Calls the boomer bends.
Okay. Well, that's badass.
Can you hear him well on there?
Yeah, that came in real clear. It did. I need a better setup for musicians.
Musicians should be able to make this work, though.
Well, I hear people say stuff like that, and I'm like, I know, but we're like knocking shit over. Yeah, I'd like to make it more conducive.
That's cool. I appreciate the chance to come over.
Hell yeah.
Really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah. No, thank y'all. Yeah, and like I said, I'll come to you. Like if y'all ever want to do something where I need to come where you're gigging or whatever, love to have you back on the show. If y'all got a single you want to drop and start talking about that or
whatever. Oh yeah, we'll be trying to record sometime this year. Get some stuff out there.
Do y'all know what studio you're going to use?
Not yet. We're gonna do demos at home, I think.
Or some dudes that in the Waco, some of these guys, like we said, they're nice down there. There's some folks that I think there's some folks in Waco that have basically waiting for us to get their shit together and come down there and record with them.
Perfect.
And their little deal. So.
Yeah. All right. So STX, Squad STX. What started that? How did you get the idea?
I was obsessed with just doing some kind of company when I was coming out of the Army. When I was thinking, what am I going to do? Because I never had, thought about that for a while.
Yeah.
And I had some friends and a family that had started their own companies over the years. And so I think whether it's my mom or a college roommate or other people that I'd seen, just like, well, if they're running their own business and they seem to way more in control of their life, that's what I want to do.
Right.
So I just knew coming out of the Army that I wanted to do something, but I also knew that I wasn't dumb. I tried to be research stuff that interests me, and so I know a thing or two about it before I get into it. And anyone that takes business serious, you look at it and just how hard it is. It's like, well, how am I not going to fail like 90% of the other people?
Yeah.
And so then it's like, all right, I need like, just, you know, it's serious. Like if you really want to do it, you need to like study it. And so then of course I cashed in with Uncle Sam to go get a grad school. I got an MBA, and my plan was go get an MBA, go get a consulting job, because that's what you're supposed to do with an MBA, and make a lot of money for a little bit. And so I can, through osmosis, suck in business wisdom and have some money to pay for all the
upfront start cost.
I just knew it. I know I'm just gonna be throwing money down. That's not, but you have to start somewhere. And you know, and a lot of it's marketing. That's what my overall take from going through that whole grad school experience and then doing consulting. Even though we didn't do marketing in consulting, they make you think about the fucking business. It was strategy consulting. And the takeaway from all that was how important marketing is. And then I have other friends that have gone through it before. They're like, hey, Dustin, like, you'll figure out where to do it, or you'll figure out your little fucking schedule. Like, you need to, like, how are you going to market this? Where are you going to, and so, and it's not, luckily there are a lot of tools out there, like, the idea of hosting a website on your own 20 years ago or 15 years ago was kind of daunting. But now you can just go, like, I use Wix. Free shout out to them. It's been pretty helpful, but you can do a template of something and then from there massage it into whatever you want, and that's a big part of my marketing, obviously the website. But then how do you find the people and just all that? I realized going into it, I was like, where is the weak spot? And I realized, I think from doing the business, the formal education, and going through consulting and just forcing myself to be serious at it, I was like, that's where I need to be spending the marketing 80% of my time. I knew if I was doing something, like especially the first 2 years, if I was wasting time out I need to do another recon of the site. It's like, that's time I could be spent like getting a lead more developed or something in the marketing. So luckily I that's like Google. I mean, let's face it. I mean, luckily that stuff exists.
Now it's a little easier to get connected than maybe 15, 20 years ago.
And so I was like, that was my from being an infantry officer. It's always like risk management, everything, like whatever, pros and cons. And like the con was like, you could fail on your ass and it's so hard. But the pro was like, luckily there are ways, like there are small mom and pop shops doing this. So you just need to figure that out. Like, what are they doing? And it's easy to throw a lot of money at the Google stuff too, but just gonna have to,
so how old is it now? How long have you been doing this?
This will be year number 5.
Damn, that is awesome, man! Congratulations, very good.
Thanks.
And
about 200 kids.
Oh my God,
less than 200 kids have gone through.
That is incredible. All right, so what goes on there? Can you kind of walk me through it? I know you got 2 events. You got a 5-day, and you got.
Read about what they did in Sparta, like with the a pogey thing or whatever. You just throw them out on a cliff. No. It's supposed to be an alternative to Boy Scouts. So I did Boy Scouts growing up, and Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, and I remember the most fun was the campouts.
You're right.
Going out there and camp. That was all the other stuff is just kind of stupid, basically. And so that was my hypothesis. If I focused just on that, originally coming out, it was going to be a paintball company, and I realized it's going to be hard to find land for that. And then. Same thing with airsoft. No one wants to. And so then I was like, well, a camp you could incorporate laser guns, and I found these laser guns that are pretty high speed, pretty cool. They sound legit and everything. I don't know where I was going with this, other than
just talking about your process.
You have a giant laser tag game, with all the kids.
That's what keeps their attention. If you didn't have that to look forward to on day 4, like the day before they leave. The attention spans would be hard to maintain. Kind of like we teach, like day 3 we'll test the guns, or day 2 they test the guns, day 3 we even do a practice game, and then day 4 it's mainly laser tag missions.
But I saw in there you're doing a type of land navigation with them as well.
Yes, it's basic stuff. I mean, this is just I don't know what your job in the military was, but I mean, a lot of this is just basic. Super basic, anything you would do in any kind of like basic infantry training, situation. How to literally pull out a map, navigate here, identify where you are and where you're going, and then we put in like grid coordinates and how you can actually read a grid to them and then plotted off on the dill.
Yeah.
Without even using a protractor. In the scenario, it's called squad sticks. I mean, sticks means situational training exercise. It's pretty common jargon in the military. Hey, we're going to go do some stick slayings. That just means, hey, some dude's going to go out, take his squad, and do situational training. It could be like, hey, we're going to do a stick slaying on ambush. So the situation might be where there's enemy patrols in the area, and we're going to ambush them, and that's, we're going to get training anyway. And so their situation is, we're training to where one day in the future something happens in this park or an area near you, and you need to go help out with like search and rescue or find some people. Maybe there's been a bunch of flooding, and so try to tie it back. Like, why would you need to read a map? Is
right.
Hey, you got people out there that are radioing back coordinates back to the state park, and then we're out here helping, and they're giving us these coordinates, and we're gonna go find it where it is. I don't know. I try to keep it to where it's you actually be doing this.
Basic but useful.
Basically useful, try to be. But they get into it. I mean, you can tell some of them get into it and some more than others, but it's basic map reading. The other thing is there's like no tents. It's just all tarps.
No shit.
Tarps that we have them tie up, and so.
Gritty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another nice part. So when it rains, that can be kind of exciting.
Now, is this in Dinosaur Valley or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's part of the park.
It's a huge park.
Yeah.
It's a big park, and they have an area. They have primitive camping areas, and we're at like one of those. They have like some that are on the map, but then they have a lot of areas of the park that they've sort of earmarked for big groups who want to go do something like this.
That's cool. So do you see it expanding into something else in the future?
Eventually, yeah. But it's a lifestyle business. I have some rental property in my music, and so it's kind of something I thought the other goal was it'd be nice to come up with a career where I just work seasonally, kind of like a farmer.
Okay.
I have farmer relatives too. I mean, it's basically a small business.
Yeah.
And they would probably tell me they work more than just seasonally, but still. No, so I don't like the idea of growing it. People ask like doing the winter. I'm like, no, I hate the winter. Screw that.
Yeah.
No, it's just the summer. But I'd like to grow it there. I just need to find another version of me eventually. That's, with anything like this, it's hard to scale it up because it's such a personal thing. And I'm not trying to get investors or any of that nonsense.
Right.
I'm just going to grow it naturally. But what I do envision is over the years, eventually I would like to find another a vet that's like, say, in the reserves. This would be a part-time deal for them as well. And that's how we can expand it. We get another vet that knows how to be around people and knows how to handle themselves outdoors and probably still in the reserves. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
Girls have asked a lot, moms, but I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole unless I find a female person. I've got some feelers out for a few people, but I'm not pushing that hard.
I get it.
They can figure their own out.
Yeah.
My insurance, the insurance high enough as it is.
Right. God. Liability. Well, it's incredible, and I'm glad to see you doing it. As soon as, you reached out to me or I stumbled upon, I can't remember who reached out to who first, but I'm like, this is incredible.
I'm amazed. Some people, you either get it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like what it's about. Like I tell the kids straight up, like it's torture. I say, if you want to come back for more torture next year, I just call it that. And we've had kids come back 4 years in a row.
Awesome.
We've got some 3-peaters coming this year. So
very nice. Because
I think basically, this is my other hypothesis. At the end of the day, my hypothesis is most people realize if they have any kind of common sense, they realize you have to go suck somewhere. You have to at some point in your childhood or your early years, you have to be put in a situation where you're being tested and you're kind of miserable.
Yeah,
they basically are. I can tell a lot of them. By day 2, they're like, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah, if you make it to 16 and you've never been on the struggle bus, you don't know.
But most of them, by now we've got it to where their parents have got them a little more screened a little better, and they know that, all right, just hunker down. And then by day 4, they got smiles.
Awesome.
From year to year, and when they're day 5 leaving, they start. You could tell. It's funny though. Like one of the kids, his name was like Scout, and the dad had called him Scout, and he had him like showing him with Army stuff, and he's telling me on the phone how he's going to go in the Army and all this stuff, and he's like one of the quitters.
Shit.
So Anyway.
Well, that's that kind of happens, right? I mean, the people that put on the biggest show are usually the first ones to throw up that white flag.
He ends up being okay. He's a gem. He really is Hoss, or it's like no, man.
Yeah.
No, and we had a kid of a SEAL, Navy SEAL. The dad was a SEAL. Which do you know how to know if someone's a SEAL?
They'll tell you. Yeah.
Right. So he told me, and, so I knew. And then when the kid came, so it was like, this kid's gonna be a dirtbag or whatever. But he was like great. He was like, man,
awesome.
So.
Well, you're probably finding a lot of fulfillment out of this. I mean, it sounds the way you're talking about it that you're enjoying it.
Fulfilling in the sense it's nice to find a business niche that works. I'm not going to pretend to. I mean, the kids that I tell them they're lucky to have parents. They have parents that can send us to this. And a lot of kids don't have a parent to send them. It's $1,000, or $1,100 to go to the camp. It's not cheap. So I'm not trying to pretend any fulfillment other than it's a very nice business still. But I will admit, I am sickened to see what's happened to the Boy Scouts, quite frankly.
Right. I think we all are. Yeah, because I was in it too.
It turns my stomach. Yeah. So yes, I feel pride in serving a part that is against that. But I don't try to push. I don't get too queasy about it. I tell them they're very lucky that they have parents that get it and see this and want to send it to them. And you better be thanking them.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, and if I ever feel like they're dragging butt, I'll just say, hey, it's in the Girl Scouts. And they'll buy me like an extra hour.
Nice.
For them.
Yeah. What are you feeding them out there? You got everybody eating MREs or?
That's for lunch. So there's like 3 MREs because there's only 3 lunches.
Yeah.
Over the 5 days. Mainly chili, mac and cheese, hot dogs one day. Eggs one breakfast.
Yeah.
Very simple. Oatmeal. Very simple stuff. But the main go-to is the chili and the rice.
Yeah. High carb. Yeah. Good stuff, man. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm interested to watch the thing develop. And that's pretty cool stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Glad you we got connected, and we'll just have to see where it goes.
Well, I'm trying to tell Jake I'm trying to grow a fan base from the camp. I'll just brainwash him into our music.
There you go. Jake, what do you got going on the side, man? Are you helping him with the camp at all?
No, I don't have any
land
businesses
nav's not
or
for you?
anything. I guess Bluelight 100s is my business.
There you go.
Yeah, I got a regular job, work at a meat plant, and play music on the side. Hang out with my friends.
Got to do something, keep the lights on.
Yeah. You've seen the movie Predator 2, in the meat factory.
Oh, yeah, it's just cold, very, very cold all day, touching,
Everything's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. Hands get real cold and start burning. If that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah.
Stinging.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for doing this, and I'm 100% sincere. Anytime you guys want to come back on, you got a single coming out, or you just want to shoot the shit, let me know.
It's very awesome. Cool. It's very nice to know some folks to push our stuff over to.
Yeah, and I'll be sharing your stuff on, now that you've been on the show, I can share your music on my Facebook page and the other social media.
Cool.
All right, yeah, we appreciate it.
It's hard to sort of get a sanity check on how well your music's coming across to people. I don't know.
Same thing with the podcast, man.
It's true.
Yeah, you just kind of throw it out there and see if it sticks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Thank y'all again for coming in, and can we do this again in the future?
Absolutely, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Sure. Back anytime.
And thanks for the mic, man.
Hell yeah. No, I'll have a better setup next time because I know some people don't dig the headsets. Yeah. All right, Fort Worth Roots. Thank y'all for listening, and we will see you next week. A huge thank you to our new friends, Dustin Stewart and Jake James Franklin of Bluelight 100s. Thank you for coming out. Don't forget to find their music, Facebook at Bluelight 100s. Their link tree is in the show notes. And you can probably just Google them. They're still kind of cutting teeth. They're looking for places to gig. If you know a place where this awesome music belongs, hit them up. DM them on Facebook. Don't DM me. I guess I could tell them, but just go direct, son. Don't forget about the River Oaks Springfest car show. Please come on out. April 30th, put it on your calendar. I want to see you guys there. I've got ideas. We're going to try different stuff, but just to meet people in the flesh. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful day right there at the end of April. And just lots of cool stuff. And there is so much energy and so many people that are getting involved with this thing that it's got no choice but to be awesome. Games and events, vendors and pop-up markets, and this is all benefiting the Friends of the River Oaks Animal Shelter. You don't like puppies, you don't like strays, you don't support local shelters. Of course you do. Just come on out. It's going to be great. It's not going to take up much of your time, and it's free. It is a free event. They're going to have antique muscle cars there, event shirts, dash plaques, goodie bags, events for the whole family. It's going to be great. Squad STX, boys camping. Gentlemen, the way to a woman's heart, if she has kiddos, is by doing awesome stuff with her boys. All boys ages 11 through 16, 100% outdoor, overnight camping, hiking, wilderness skills, land navigation, laser tag missions. Get online. SquadSTX.com, and don't say you're going to do it later because you're just going to forget. You know how you are. Okay? It's their first date that they have listed on their website for the 5-day, 4-night, Wednesday through Sunday boys summer camp is June 8th through the 12th. And then they got 22 through the 26th, 6th through the 10th. And then the father and son camp 3-day, 2-night, Friday through Sunday. It's probably going to be a little more conducive to some people's schedules. That one's coming up real fast. That's May 6th through the 8th. And then they've got one October 14th through the 16th. This thing has gotten popular, and you heard about it in this episode, but they've got kids that are coming back year after year. So he's doing something right. It's growing. He's got kind of a fan base now. And, it's just an excuse to get outside and go do the thing with the kids. And it'll be a memory they'll never forget. So just do it. SquadSTX.com. Thank y'all for being here. I was looking at the analytics, and I mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I don't have it up in front of me right now, but we got people from Scotland and Hungary tuning into the show and listening to Fort Worth Roots. It's wild. It's wild to see that we have a global impact. So wherever you are listening, just know that we do see that and we do appreciate it. Every single time you download even one episode, it shows up on our analytics and it helps the show. So thank you. You can find us on all the social medias at Fort Worth Roots. That's TikTok, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, all the things. I even have a Twitter, but I swear to God, I don't use the thing. I don't know. There's a mental block there with Twitter, and I don't like the shit. I just don't. I need to get better at that. I know. You're right. But anyway, there's lots of different ways you can hit me up. And we've got our email, media@fortworthroots.com. That is set up so that you can send me messages and say, hey, you said this one thing on this one episode, and it was wrong. And I need you to correct it because you put out some bad information. And that's how we would correct that. Yep, just like that. And then I would politely send you an email back saying, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for listening. I'm ramping up for this River Oaks car show. And what does that mean? I don't know. I'm mentally preparing myself for it. We've got Darren Houck, the owner of Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck over there in River Oaks. He has been so nice to us. He's setting me up with all sorts of swag. He gave me a banner. He gave me a table cover with my logo on it. The guy just grabbed my logo off of something and started putting it on stuff. Just wild. You're not expecting to get something like that. Anyway, they've just been, the entire family has just been extremely supportive of the show. And so in turn, I want to be supportive of this event, this River Oaks Springfest car show. It's going to be a lot of fun. But outside of that, there's so much attention to detail and planning that's gone into this. Thank God I didn't have much to do with it because I'm terrible at planning stuff, but other people did, and it's going to be great. And my lot in all this is just telling you about it. So I'd like to see a huge turnout. It's sitting on like 300 acres, so you can't bring too many people. Next week, not next week, this week. So Thursday, I'm dropping another episode. I decided to space it out a few days, but this one's with Dustin. And Dustin hit me up and he's like, hey, whatever, you got time? Let's do another recording. I'm like, okay, all right, cool. So he did. He stopped by and we talked for like almost 2 freaking hours. And it went off the rails. It got a little bit political, but the cool thing is I think him and I both are, we don't give a shit about either political affiliation. This was more just, the government in general and how it's strange that people still trust the media and the government. We got into that pretty deep, which, I try to steer away from, but I'm not going to be able to do that forever. I'm just not. It's going to come up because people are passionate about it. And the message that I try to convey anytime we're talking about this stuff is that everybody's opinion is valid to at least them. So you cannot discount anybody's belief system, their stance on certain things, and you can't just roll your eyes at them and be like, oh, this person sees things differently than me, so I'm going to immediately shut out what they have to say. Because I've changed my opinion a lot on certain things just by having these conversations with people. So it's very advantageous to listen to people that have opposing views. So we got to do that. We got to at least allow the conversation to happen. And you don't have to win. You do not have to impose your ideas on somebody else in order for the conversation to be productive. So that's something that I was practicing throughout that entire thing, because I actually share a lot of the viewpoints that Dustin puts out in Thursday's episode, but it's typically stuff that I keep to myself and I don't like talking about on the show. But I do want to make sure that people that have differing opinions understand that, this is not your team versus my team. This is two people having a conversation. There were times in there where we were talking over each other. To be honest with you, it was a great conversation. I don't know that it was a great recording, but we'll find out, because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to play with it today and see if I can't make it something that you'll really enjoy. But we really did just have like an hour and a half, 2 hour long rant. Which is cool. It's all right, because that's kind of what the intention was. Just get together and bullshit. We weren't going to try to solve any problems. We weren't going to try to fix anything. We were just going to sit down, hang out, and do a recording. And hey, we accomplished that. So I just don't want people to hear this and go, oh shit, Fort Worth Roots is turning into a political hellscape. It's not what's happening. So we will do this. We'll have people on, and I'm sure we'll get in the weeds like this. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. I just have to find a way to make sure that people understand that, just because one opinion is being expressed does not mean that that we're trying to push you out of our box and into a different one, or isolate you because of your affiliations and beliefs and all that. So, whatever. Stupid. Why are we even talking about this? Anyway, episode's coming out Thursday, and it will not be a reoccurring reoccurring occurrence. Like, we're not going to do an episode every Thursday. It's just not going to happen. I don't have the time for it right now. So it's actually, as soon as I get done with this episode, I'm jumping straight into Thursday's episode to get that thing cleaned up and ready to go. Somebody called me out the other day at Cody out of Abilene. He's like, you say things on the episodes that you don't do. Like when you tell people, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to trim this out in post-edit, when I'm actually recording with somebody. And I tell them that I'm going to trim it out. I do that intentionally. And here's why. I tell them that I'm going to trim it out. And then I go back and I'm in post-production and I'm listening to this thing. And I'm like, man, there is no way for me to segue out of this if I cut that out. Besides, I kind of like keeping some of my screw-ups in the show. The things that I cut out in editing are, I might take an entire subject of the conversation. Like, okay, here we talked about toilet paper for 30 minutes. I'm going to snap that out of there. No toilet paper conversation. Nobody gives a shit about what we're wiping with. Okay, so that's out. And then whenever I get into a conversation, I start stuttering or I say something just, it doesn't make any sense. Like my brain stalls out and I just start saying words. I'll clean that out. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff that you're missing out on. It's not highly interesting, but don't feel like you're losing anything. I'm not taking stuff out in order to conceal or change the direction of the conversation. That's not the goal there. I do try to trim these things down to 45 minutes is always the goal. I almost never hit it. I've done pretty good lately. Some of these recordings that we're doing with people have been, we'll hit hour 10, and then I'll just kind of shut it down. Mostly out of respect for their time, and it just seems to work better. So, But yeah, some of this stuff is intentional, and some of it's not. I'll be honest with you. There's been times I'll go back and I'll listen to an episode and I'll be like, shit, why'd I put that in there? Why is that still there? I meant to take that out. So anyway, doesn't matter. But I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to do things with the show that are going to improve the quality and the content, and we're going to keep it going. Fort Worth Roots is here to stay, my friend, because it's what I do. That's why. Thursday's episode's coming out, and then we'll have another one Monday. Every single week. All right, well, we will see you next Monday. Thank y'all again for listening to Fort Worth Roots. You can email me anytime you want, media@fortworthroots.com. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you had for breakfast. RSVP for this event. Email me. Let me know. I'm going to put an event together on Facebook for the car show. And I'll take it down if Darren doesn't like it. But I'm going to make my own thing, like inside the show. Like the Fort Worth Roots first time out of the box at the River Oaks Springfest car show. Something ridiculous that doesn't make sense, like most of the shit I do. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Anyway, or email me. Tell me you're going to be there. Comment on a post or something. Let me know. Cool. All right. I'm out of here. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I will see you next Monday. Peace.